Everybody tune in now. It's 11:30, Sunday, April 19th, 2015, and it's time for another post-game edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. I'm Taylor Phillips. Good evening, Detroit sports fans, Detroit sports fanatics, same thing. If you want to share your Detroit sports opinion, you can either call in with your name, city, and state at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837, or you can send me a text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. Again, the text message number is 231-429-3668, or you can just leave a comment on the chat window, which is available. Today we're gonna just talk about some Tigers. The Red Wings had off today, and they'll have off tomorrow. Pistons have already finished their regular season. So it's just Tigers. They trumped the White Sox 9-1 earlier today in the rubber finale of the three-game series at Comerica Park. Shane Green did his thing again, except he allowed his first earned run of the season on a Jose Abreu RBI triple, which came way too late. Too long, way too late, as the Tigers jumped out to a 9-0 lead. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the first with a grand slam from Yoenis Cespedes to left center field. The wind was blowing in from the left field seats toward left center and toward the first base line dugout, toward the visitors' dugout, as Dan Dickerson and Jim Price told me when I was listening to the game on the radio at work, on my headphones, on my headset, on my MP3 player. There were plenty of other that there were plenty of balls being hit toward left field, but Dan Dickerson and Jim Price both kept saying that the wind knocked it down.
Get out of your mind.
Once again, they keep sounding like at least half delusional, if not fully delusional. Yoenis Cespedes hit 2 home runs, a grand slam in the first, and a solo home run in the bottom of the third. A 2-run homer in the bottom of the third. A grand slam and a 2-run homer in the first and third innings. Other scoring plays that happened. Rajay Davis with an RBI single in the bottom of the second that made it 5-0. The Cespedes 2-run shot made it 7-0 in the third. Victor Martinez got into the act. With an RBI ground rule double, scoring Miguel Cabrera in the fifth, making it 8-0. 2 batters later, Nick Castellanos drove in Vmart with a double of his own to right, making it 9-0. The Abreu triple putting the White Sox on the board, scoring Melky Cabrera capped off the scoring. Shane Green with the win. He went 7 innings flat, gave up his first earned run, like I mentioned before. Gave up 5 hits, walked 4, struck out 3. His ERA is still at a very low 0.39. Ian Kroll pitched a 1-2-3 inning, and Angel Nesbitt only allowed 1 hit and struck out 1 batter. His ERA is still three goose eggs, a flat 0. So we have to admit that that the Tigers bullpen still did very great. Kroll's ERA is lowered to 2.70, by the way, before I miss it. Jose Quintana got rung up for 9 earned runs on 10 hits in 4 innings pitched. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He was taken deep twice. The White Sox bullpen, as Dan Dickerson and Jim Price mentioned, wasn't good either, but has had problems as well, but they didn't have any problems at all. Except Albers. Matt Albers, that is, gave up 2 hits, that drove in one of them, which drove in the which drove in the 9th and final Tiger run. That was off the bat of Nick Castellanos. That earned run was charged to Jose Quintana. And the other relief pitcher for the White Sox, Kyle Drabek, only walked 1 batter and didn't allow a hit in 2 innings pitched. Matt Albers went 2 innings pitched as well. Both Albers and Drabek struck out 2 batters each. But Jose Quintana took a beating. He had a lot of success against the Tigers before that. Well, statistically, I can't argue against that. But the Tigers finally got their revenge on Quintana. Both teams had to play through light rain, which never delayed the game for a split second. Tigers take the series 2 out of 3 and improved to 10-2. The White Sox dropped to 4-7 with that loss. Sox play the Indians next. The Tigers host the Yankees next in a 4-game series, with Alfredo Simon taking on CC Sabathia. Simon is 2-0 with a 2.03 ERA. CC Sabathia is 0-2 with a 5.68 ERA. Here's the preview of the 4-game series opener. I'll take a sip of water here. 1 minute. Brian Hoch, H-O-C-H, from MLB.com. Headlines: Sabathia, Simon to duel as Yanks Tigers open set. 4 game set, that is. The Yankees and Tigers will open a 4-game series on Monday at Comerica Park with left-hander CC Sabathia taking the ball against right-hander Alfredo Simon. Sabathia is looking for his first victory since April 24th of last year as he takes on the Tigers, a club against which he has registered 19 career wins. Sabathia is coming off a loss to the Orioles in Baltimore on Tuesday, in which he allowed 4 runs on 7 hits in 7 innings. Flat. Simon pitched a gem in his last outing, handcuffing the Pirates to 2 hits over 8 scoreless innings in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. Simon has walked just 2 batters in 13 1/3 innings this season with 5 strikeouts. 3 things to know about this game. Number 1, entering Sunday, the Tigers had just scored 12 runs over their past 5 games, but they also faced a trio of tough hurlers in Chris Sale, Jeff Samardzija, and A.J. Burnett over that span. Tigers manager Brad Ausmus said that he is not concerned about the team's bats, and neither should we. Heading into Sunday, Detroit ranks second in baseball with a 3.01 average, with a 4.76 slugging percentage, and second with a 3.68 on-base percentage. So to do the math, it is 844 OPS. Number 2, while Sabathia has experienced issues keeping runners from crossing home plate in his 2 starts, permitting 9 runs, 8 earned, the Yankees have been encouraged by his health, command, and the crispness of his pitches. Sabathia has permitted just 1 walk and struck out 15 over 12 2/3 innings, and manager Joe Girardi said that he expects the veteran's luck to change soon. Number 3, Alex Rodriguez has hit 3 homers on the Yankees' current road trip, including a 471-foot shot at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg against the Tampa Bay Rays on Friday. That was the longest in the majors this season. He now has 658 for his career and needs 2 more to tie Willie Mays' 660 for 4th place on the all-time list. Rodriguez is 0 for 4 lifetime against Simon. So I will tweet that article. Do some editing here. Then on Tuesday at 7:08, Kyle Lobstein will take Justin Verlander's place, while Justin Verlander experienced fatigue in his tricep. And Lobstein will take on Nathan Eovaldi, who has a 4.35 ERA and 10 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings. Lobstein right now has a 5.40 ERA in just 5 innings pitched, only 3 strikeouts, but he's 1-0. In 1 appearance. So we expect kind of a slugfest on Tuesday. The Yankees have been red hot. The Yankees have been red hot offensively. David Price on Wednesday will take on Adam Warren with a 4.82 ERA, 3 strikeouts in 9 1/3 innings. David Price's ERA is 0.40. Warren is 0-1. Price is 1-0. Then on Thursday at 1:08, it apparently will be Anibal Sanchez taking on Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka is 2-1 with a 3.94 ERA. At first, I thought Tanaka was seriously injured when he by blowing out his elbow. But his elbow pain apparently wasn't that serious. Taking a look at the standings right now, the Tigers are still in first place ahead of the Kansas City Royals by 1 game. The Royals are 9-3. The Minnesota Twins are trying to climb out of the Sutter. They are a half game ahead of both the Indians and White Sox for 3rd place. The Twins are 5-7, and the Tribe and Sox are both 4-7. First off, the Tigers sweep the Twins in humiliating fashion from opening day to the finale of that opening day series at Comerica Park. And the Twins lose 2 out of 3 in Chicago afterwards. Then they win. Then they win 4 out of their next 6, out of their last 6 games, and 5 of their last 8. All 5 wins have come in the Twins' last 8 games. Here, the Yankees are just barely in 3rd place. It's a very, very close race early in the almost a little bit over a half month into this MLB regular season. The Yanks are a half game behind both the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox, who each have a 7-5 record. But the Yanks are also a half game ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays and Toronto Blue Jays for 3rd place. The Rays and Jays are both 6-7. Looking at the AL West, the Houston Astros are obviously in first place with a record of 6-6. The Athletics follow them up with a 6-7 record. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Seattle Mariners are tied for third place at 5-7, and the Texas Rangers are 5-8, bringing up the rear in the AL West. Moving over to the National League, the Mets lead the AL East. The Mets lead the NL East at 10-3, a half game ahead of the 8-4 Atlanta Braves, the New York Mets. Then the Washington Nationals are 6-7. The Philadelphia Phillies are 4-9, and the Miami Marlins are 3-10. Even after they signed second baseman Giancarlo Stanton to a 13-year, $325 million contract. They're seriously overpaying Giancarlo Stanton. I'm not saying the Tigers need Stanton. They don't. The Tigers have Kinsler. They have Ian Kinsler. So we can just forget about that. I do think Giancarlo Stanton wants to win. The St. Louis Cardinals lead the NL Central at 8-3, followed by the 6-5 Chicago Cubs in second place, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates at 6-6, the Cincinnati Reds at 5-7, and the Milwaukee Brewers at 2-10. That is the worst record in the majors thus far. In the NL West, the Dodgers lead at 9-3. The Los Angeles Dodgers lead at 9-3. The San Diego Padres following them at 8-5, and then the Colorado Rockies at 7-5. The Arizona Diamondbacks at 7-6, and the San Francisco Giants at 4-10. If the Giants keep playing that poorly, they may have to let Bruce Bochy go. I expect the Tigers to take about three out of 4 from the Yankees at Comerica Park before they take on the Cleveland Indians in a 3-game weekend series to wrap up the 10-game homestand. Because I don't quite see the Tigers sweeping the Yankees in a 4-game set. Kyle Lobstein is pitching, and his first start was in Cleveland, and it was a rocky one, as I may recall. He's got a 5.40 ERA in one game. And he just barely got the win as the Tigers swept the Indians on opening weekend at Progressive Field. Kyle Lobstein was mostly better as a starting pitcher last season. When injuries started to mount. On the Tigers. Lobstein stepped up and stood tall and was terrific on the mound. Let's see if Lobstein can turn it back up at least a couple notches on his pitching command and things like that. Taking a look at MLB scores from earlier today, the Braves beat the Blue Jays 5-2 at Rogers Center. The Mets beat the Marlins 7-6 at Citi Field. The Yankees beat the Rays 5-3 in St. Petersburg at Tropicana Field. Tigers will take on the Yankees next. The Orioles beat the Red Sox 8-3 at Fenway Park. The Pirates beat the Brewers 5-2 at PNC Park. The Washington Nationals beat the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. Twins have been red hot. They clobbered the Indians 7-2 at Target Field, scoring 3 runs in the second and 3 runs in the sixth. TJ House for Cleveland has dropped to 0-2 and his ERA has risen to 14.14. Triple ouch. The Houston Astros beat the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 4-3 at Minute Maid Park. The Kansas City Royals have beaten the Athletics 4-2 at Kauffman Stadium. They double up the A's there. The Padres beat the Cubs 5-2 at Wrigley Field. The Diamondbacks beat the Giants 5-1 at AT&T Park. The Dodgers shut out the Colorado Rockies, 7-0 at Dodger Stadium. And it was a slugfest between the victorious Mariners and the Rangers, with the final count being 11-10. And finally, the Cardinals edged the Reds in a pitcher's duel 2-1. Adam Wainwright emerged. Adam Wainwright prevailed over Leake, and Walden with the save. So that fills up the time for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show postgame Sunday, April 19th, 2015, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I am Taylor Phillips. I'll talk to you tomorrow night at 11. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.